Before this day begins, before your mind begins searching for answers, before you reach for your phone, before the weight of another day quietly settles on your shoulders, take a slow breath. There is nothing you need to accomplish in this moment, nothing you need to solve, nothing you need to force. Simply be here, right here, with God. Perhaps this morning, you are carrying something that no one else can see, not because life has fallen apart, not because everything is hopeless, but because you have been waiting for so long, waiting for a door to open, waiting for healing, waiting for good news, waiting for peace to return, waiting for a loved one to come home, waiting for a relationship to be restored, waiting for clarity, waiting for God to move. And while everyone around you continues living their lives, you quietly remain in this place called waiting. At first, you thought it would only be for a little while. You believed that soon something would change. Soon the answer would come. Soon the prayer would be answered. Soon the burden would become lighter. Soon the waiting would end. But days became weeks. Weeks became months. Perhaps months have now become years. And here you are, still praying, still hoping, still waiting. Lord, waiting has become harder than I ever imagined. Not because I have stopped believing in you, but because I cannot see what you are doing. If I could see even one small sign, perhaps my heart would rest. If I knew why you were asking me to wait, perhaps the waiting would feel lighter. If I knew when this season would end, perhaps I could hold on more easily. But I do not know. I wake up each morning, and everything looks the same unanswered questions, the same unfinished story, the same uncertainty. Sometimes, that quiet sameness becomes exhausting, not because I want to rush your timing, but because my heart grows weary living between hope and uncertainty. Lord, you know how difficult this place can be. You know the hidden conversations that happen inside my mind, the thoughts I rarely speak aloud, the fears I try to push away, the questions I am almost afraid to ask. Because somewhere deep inside, I wonder, is anything happening at all? Have my prayers simply disappeared into silence? Have I misunderstood your plan? Am I still moving forward? Or have I simply stopped without realizing it? Lord, I know many people around me cannot see this struggle. Waiting often looks very ordinary from the outside. People see me going to work, taking care of responsibilities, smiling politely, living another normal day. But inside, there is a constant stretching of the soul, a quiet ache that rarely leaves, a longing that returns every morning before I even open my eyes. Some days, I become tired of carrying hope, not because hope is bad, but because hope can feel heavy when it waits for a very long time. Sometimes, I wonder if you understand how long this season has felt. Then I remember, of course, you do. You have been here through every sunrise, every restless night, every whispered prayer, every moment when I almost gave up speaking because I felt I had already said the same words 100 times before. You heard every one of them. Not one was ignored, not one was forgotten. Lord, thank you for allowing me to come honestly this morning. I do not need to hide my disappointment from you. I do not need to pretend that waiting feels easy. I do not need to force joyful words while my heart feels tired. You already know. You already understand. And somehow, that alone brings comfort. Because I am not sitting in this waiting season by myself. You are here too. Even if I cannot yet see what you are doing, even if I cannot yet understand your timing, even if nothing around me seems to be changing, your presence has not changed. Your faithfulness has not changed. Your heart toward me has not changed. Lord, before I ask you to change my circumstances, would you first help me become still? Would you quiet the anxious thoughts that constantly ask, when, how much longer, what if nothing ever changes? Help me lay those questions gently into your hands. Not because I suddenly have all the answers, but because I trust the one who does. Your word says, Those who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength, not because waiting is easy, but because you meet us in the waiting. Perhaps that is what I need most today. Not immediate answers, not instant solutions, but renewed strength. Strength to trust you one more day, strength to hope one more morning, strength to keep walking even when I cannot yet see the destination. Lord, I am here, still waiting, still hoping, still believing. Even if my faith feels small today, I place this waiting season into your loving hands. Stay with me, walk beside me, and let this quiet morning remind me that waiting with you is never waiting alone. Lord, there are thoughts I rarely speak aloud, not because I do not trust you, but because they make me feel ashamed. Sometimes, I wonder if you have forgotten me. Even saying those words feels difficult, because I know who you are. I know you are faithful. I know your love never fails. I know your promises are true. Yet there are mornings when my heart quietly whispers, if God remembers me, why has nothing changed? Lord, you already know these hidden questions. You are not surprised by them. You are not offended by my weakness. You are not disappointed that waiting has become heavy. You know what it feels like to hold hope for a very long time. You know how easily a weary heart begins to confuse silence with absence. That is what frightens me the most. Not simply the waiting itself, but the silence. The long stretches when I cannot see what you are doing. The ordinary days that all seem to look the same. The prayers that sound so familiar because I have prayed them again and again. Sometimes I begin another morning with the same request. The same tears, the same longing, the same unanswered hope. And I wonder, does heaven still hear this prayer? Lord, forgive me for the moments when discouragement has become louder than faith. Forgive me for believing that, because I cannot see movement, there must be no movement at all. Forgive me for measuring your work by what my eyes can see. You have always seen farther than I can. You have always known what I cannot yet understand. Still, there are days when waiting slowly wears down my courage. I look around, and it seems as though everyone else's story is moving forward. Doors are opening, dreams are becoming reality, families are being restored, healing is coming, new beginnings are happening, and I quietly wonder, when will it be my turn? I do not ask because I envy them. I ask because I am tired. Tired of wondering, tired of hoping, tired of trying to stay patient when every day feels almost identical to the one before it. Lord, you know how lonely a waiting season can become, not because people stop caring, but because eventually, life keeps moving for everyone else. The conversations change, the world continues. People assume everything must be fine now, but you know, the prayer never really left my heart. It simply became quieter, hidden beneath daily routines, carried silently through ordinary moments. Sometimes I have smiled while carrying sorrow, worked while carrying uncertainty, laughed while quietly wondering if you were still writing this part of my story. Thank you, because you see all of it. Nothing has ever been hidden from you. Not the prayers I prayed with confidence, not the prayers I whispered through tears, not even the prayers I could no longer find words to say. Your word reminds me, wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord. Lord, today I confess that my heart has grown tired, but I also confess something else. Even after all this waiting, I am still here. Somehow, I am still talking to you, still reaching for you, still choosing to begin another morning in your presence. Perhaps that itself is evidence of your grace, because on my own, I might have given up long ago, yet you have quietly held me through every season, even when I did not notice, even when I misunderstood your silence, even when I questioned your timing. You never stopped holding me. So this morning, I bring you my disappointment, my unanswered questions, my fragile hope, my tired faith, not because they are beautiful, but because you welcome every part of me. Teach me that your silence is never empty. Teach me that waiting is not wasted. Teach me to believe that even now, while I cannot yet see the next chapter, your loving hands are still gently writing my story. Lord, perhaps the hardest part of waiting is not the passing of time. It is learning to trust you when I cannot see what you are doing. If I could see every step you are taking, perhaps I would not be afraid. If you showed me the whole picture, perhaps I would wait with confidence. If I knew exactly how this story would end, perhaps my heart would finally rest. But that has never been the way you lead. You invite me to walk by faith, not by sight. And if I am honest, that is difficult for me. I like certainty. I like clear answers. I like knowing what comes next. Yet so often, your invitation is simply, walk with me today, not tomorrow, not 6 months from now, just today. Lord, teach me to trust what I cannot yet see. Because so much of your work happens beneath the surface, just as roots grow quietly beneath the earth, long before anyone sees a tree, just as a seed begins to change, long before it breaks through the soil, just as dawn slowly fills the sky, before the sun appears above the horizon. So perhaps you are doing more than I realize. Perhaps while I have been watching for open doors, you have been quietly strengthening my heart. Perhaps while I have been asking you to change my circumstances, you have been shaping my character. Perhaps while I have been waiting for the destination, you have been teaching me how to walk with you. Lord, forgive me for believing that visible progress is the only kind of progress. You have never been limited to what my eyes can measure. You work in hidden places, in quiet moments, in ordinary days that seem almost forgettable. Sometimes, I imagine that nothing is happening because everything feels the same, but even in nature, the most beautiful transformations often happen slowly. The river shapes the stone one gentle movement at a time. The seasons change so gradually that we hardly notice until the landscape has become completely different. A child grows a little each day, though no one sees the change from one sunrise to the next. In the same way, perhaps my soul has been changing in ways I cannot yet recognize. Perhaps you have already protected me from things I never knew were coming. Perhaps you have already closed doors that would have led me away from your best. Perhaps you have already begun preparing people, places, and moments that will meet me in the future. You have planned, I do not know, but you do. And today, that is enough. Your word says, "Those who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength." It does not say that everyone who waits will immediately understand. It does not promise that every question will be answered today. It promises something even deeper, that while we wait, you renew us. Lord, perhaps that is the miracle I have overlooked. While I kept looking for changed circumstances, you have been changing me. While I kept asking for a different season, you have been quietly giving me a stronger heart for this one. While I kept searching for signs outside of me, your Spirit has been gently working within me. Thank you, because your work is never wasted. Not one prayer, not one tear, not one day of waiting, not one moment of quiet trust. Even when I cannot trace, your hand helped me trust your heart. Help me remember that you are never inactive. You are never distracted. You are never late. You are the God who works faithfully, even when your work is hidden from human eyes. Today, I choose to believe that you are still writing this story, still preparing the way, still opening the right doors at the right time, still protecting me from what I cannot yet understand, still weaving every ordinary day into something beautiful. So I will keep walking, not because I know what tomorrow holds, but because I know who walks beside me today. And that is enough. Lord, the more I sit quietly with you this morning, the more I begin to realize something beautiful. Just because I cannot see your hands moving, does not mean your hands are still. You have never been a God who only works in ways that are obvious. So much of your greatest work has always happened in quiet places. You formed creation before anyone witnessed its beauty. You shaped David in lonely fields, long before he ever wore a crown. You prepared Joseph through years of waiting before opening the door no one else could imagine. Again and again, you have shown that hidden seasons are never forgotten seasons. Lord, perhaps I have mistaken silence for inactivity. Perhaps I have believed that because I cannot measure your progress, there is no progress at all. But you are not limited by what I can understand. You are always moving with wisdom, always working with perfect love, always weaving together details that my eyes are far too small to see. This morning, I picture a gardener walking quietly through a garden before sunrise. No flowers are blooming yet. No fruit hangs from the branches. To someone passing by, it might look as though nothing is happening. But the gardener knows. The roots are alive. The soil is changing. Life is quietly preparing to appear. Lord, perhaps you are tending my life in the same gentle way. Perhaps while I have been asking for visible miracles, you have been faithfully caring for unseen places within me, watering hope, removing fear, strengthening trust, softening places that pain had made hard, teaching me patience that success could never teach, growing compassion that comfort alone could never produce. None of this feels dramatic. Much of it happens so quietly that I almost miss it, yet your quiet work is still holy work. Just as the sunrise never rushes, you never rush what is meant to last. The morning sky slowly changes from darkness to light. There is no sudden announcement, no loud celebration, only gentle light, spreading little by little, and before anyone realizes it, night has become morning. Lord, perhaps that is how your grace has been working in me, not through one overwhelming moment, but through countless small mercies, one faithful day after another, one unseen act of love after another, one quiet reminder that you have never left. Even now, you are preparing me for things I cannot yet imagine. You know the conversations I have not yet had, the opportunities I have not yet received, the prayers that will one day become testimonies, the people I have not yet met, the healing that is still unfolding, the joy that has not yet arrived. Nothing about my future surprises you. You are already there, waiting for me with the same love that holds me now. Thank you, because I do not have to force your plan into my own timeline. I do not have to carry the burden of making everything happen. I do not have to fear that my waiting has somehow delayed your purpose. Your plans are not fragile. Your promises are not uncertain. Your faithfulness is not weakened by the passing of time. Even when I feel still, you are moving. Even when I feel forgotten, you remember me completely. Even when I cannot see beyond today, you already hold tomorrow. Lord, help me stop measuring my life only by visible results. Teach me to notice the quieter miracles, a calmer heart, a deeper trust, a softer spirit, the strength to keep praying, the courage to keep hoping, the peace to rest before I understand. Perhaps these are not small miracles at all. Perhaps they are the very evidence that you have been working all along. So today, I choose to believe that this waiting season is not empty. It is filled with your unseen faithfulness, filled with your gentle hands, filled with your perfect wisdom. And one day, whether in this life or in eternity, I believe I will look back and see that not one moment of waiting was wasted, because every quiet day was another day spent in the loving hands of my faithful Father. Lord, as this quiet morning prayer comes to an end, I realize that perhaps the greatest gift you have given me today is not an answer. It is your presence. The circumstances I brought before you may still be the same. The door I have been waiting for may still be closed. The prayer I have whispered for so many mornings may still be unanswered. The season I hoped would end may still continue. And yet, something inside me feels different. Not because I suddenly understand everything, but because I remember that I do not walk through this waiting season alone. You are here. You have been here all along. Even on the mornings when I questioned your silence. Even on the days when disappointment felt heavier than hope. Even during the nights when I wondered if anyone was listening. You never stepped away. Lord, thank you for being faithful in ways I often fail to recognize. Thank you for all the prayers you have already answered without my realizing it, for the dangers you quietly protected me from, for the doors you lovingly kept closed, for the burdens you carried when I thought I was carrying them alone, for the strength you renewed without making a sound. I wonder how many times you have already been working behind the scenes, while I believed nothing was happening. Perhaps one day, I will finally understand. Perhaps I will look back and see how every delay had purpose, how every closed door carried mercy, how every season of waiting shaped my heart. Until then, I choose to trust you, not because I have every answer, but because I know your heart. Your timing has never been careless. Your plans have never been rushed. Your love has never been uncertain. Lord, when tomorrow comes, and I wake up still waiting, help me remember this morning. When the questions return, help me remember your faithfulness. When fear whispers that nothing is changing, help me remember that you are always working, even when I cannot see. Teach me not to measure my life by visible progress alone. Help me notice quieter miracles, a heart that no longer panics, a soul that rests more easily, a deeper trust than I had yesterday, a peace that remains even before the answer arrives. Perhaps those are signs that your kingdom is already growing within me. Lord, I place my future into your hands, not because I know what tomorrow holds, but because I know the one who holds tomorrow. I place my family into your hands, my health, my dreams, my unanswered prayers, my fears, my waiting. Everything belongs safely with you. Today, I release the pressure to force open doors you have not yet opened. I release the fear that I am falling behind. I release the burden of trying to control what only you can control. Instead, I choose to walk with you, one morning at a time, one prayer at a time, one faithful step at a time. And if this waiting season continues, let it also become a season where I know you more deeply, a season where my roots grow stronger, a season where my trust becomes steadier, a season where I discover that your presence is not simply preparing me for a blessing. Your presence is already the greatest blessing. Thank you for never abandoning me. Thank you for never forgetting me. Thank you for continuing to work, even when I cannot yet see the finished picture. I rest my waiting heart in your faithful hands. I rest my future in your perfect wisdom. I rest this entire season in your unfailing love. In the name of Jesus, amen.